Everyone welcome Brett back onto the channel.
Hello.
They're basically a veteran of this channel already. You can check out the other videos we've done together.
But this time, we've talked about design. I think it's about time we put our money where our mouth is and actually design some Pokemon.
Yeah, sounds good. So what we decided to do was look at type combinations that are unused and try to come up with Pokemon that use some of those types. So the type that I chose, and I chose this type purely based on I think it's a cool type combination. I did not think of battle prowess or anything like that. Probably a terrible type combination, but I'm going with ice and poison.
Now that is a very cool sounding type combination just from the get-go.
I thought of a single stage Pokemon line based on the Portuguese Manowar.
Ooh.
Now this looks like a jellyfish, but it's actually not a jellyfish. But basically it has this sail-shaped air sac on the top, and then it's got a whole bunch of short tentacles that it uses to digest food, and a few super long tentacles that it uses to capture prey. And it does sting, and it's a very, very painful sting, so that's where the poison type comes from. The ice type, there isn't really anything to do with the Portuguese Manowar itself that has the ice type to it, but to me, that air sac sail could very easily be turned into an iceberg.
Ooh.
Let's do a very, very bad, very, very quick sketch here.
It's already adorable and I want one as a pet.
Probably gonna give it some eyes. And then a couple of super long tentacles that, so the long tentacles, they're coiled, so it would be something like this. But then there's something else that I found really interesting about the Portuguese Manowar. It's not actually a single creature. I mean, it is and it isn't. So it's a sort of a colony of a whole bunch of conjoined twins. I know that sounds really weird.
Oh, okay.
But yes, so they're all genetically identical, but they are independent, and they perform separate roles. Like the long tentacles are one creature, the short tentacles are other creatures. There's the reproductive part that is another creature as well. So they're all independent, but they work together. It's kind of halfway between a complex multicellular organism and a colony. It's really weird.
It's terrifying.
But basically, I was thinking that the little tentacles, actually all of the tentacles could actually have little faces on them as well.
Oh, that now it was cute. Now you've made it absolutely horrifying.
Yes.
In the best way. With it being ice type as well, you could have sort of the pieces joining and have some really cool sort of fractal ice two separate ice pieces, but sort of connecting to sort of signify that it is separate beings. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It could be that let's call it the main body, what's going to be the head, it could be actually encased in the ice, and then all of the tentacles could actually be not attached to the head, but just attached to the ice.
I like that. That sounds like a good idea. Because that sort of further sells the ice type. Now, depending on how far you want to go with the sort of the ice, you could always make them sort of like stalactites. Maybe even vaguely green or purple stalactites to sell the poison a bit more.
Yeah, kind of like icicles hanging down. But then you'd have to figure out how to put the head on, but maybe it just...
Could the head be at the top? At the top of each of the tentacles?
Oh, something like this?
Or does that make it too close to a vanilla?
No, I don't think so.
Although having this creature take over the minds of 10 Vanilluxes to help it move around, it's now even more terrifying.
We can try different kinds of eyes too.
I kind of like the innocent looking round eyes that you've given it, trying to hide the fact that it's a terrifying monster. I don't know a whole lot about jellyfish, because being in Britain, I don't have to worry about jellyfish all that often.
Although I came up with the Manowar idea because I was researching poisonous animals that appear in the UK, because I wanted to make it kind of fitting with the Galar region. So apparently you do get Portuguese
Oh.
manowars.
I'm never gonna go to the water again.
Oh, actually, yeah, we could, on the part that will be the head, they could actually have little, like,
Little like devil
claw,
horns.
like claw arm kind of things that would grab the
Ooh.
prey with. So these two parts, the two long tentacles would grab fish that is passing by, and then take it up here to be dissolved by the other ones. So yeah, so I was thinking like an iceberg normally has most of the ice underwater, but in this case, it would actually be just the animal that is all underwater. So the water level would be like somewhere here.
Yeah.
So you see an iceberg, but underneath there is predatory creature.
How big are you imagining this thing being?
I don't know, because like...
I think if we make it like proper iceberg sized, it will just devour everything, and we'd have to make it like a legendary or something, because that would be crazy otherwise. To have just those commonly available,
Yeah.
no, that would be the only water Pokemon left. What color are you gonna make these like head body things? Because if they're gonna be like a purple or a green, then having the body snake down is like it reminds me of sort of like a vein of poison, which I think is cool, so I'm all for it.
I was thinking mostly purple, but to be confirmed when we're actually putting some color on it. Oh yeah, so maybe the long tentacles, their poison just paralyzes the prey, and then when it brings it up to the other ones, it actually has the gastric juices to inject into it so that it can dissolve it.
Sounds good.
Now that sounds a bit scary.
Is it only just now scary to you?
Yes. Yes, only just now.
I hate it.
In a good sense, I hope.
Oh yeah, in the this is so cool, but I never want to go in the water again kind of way. I like the little claw things. They do look like horns, but they also look very, very.
I was trying to
nasty.
make them look more like they're pointing downwards, so that it looks maybe more like mandibles.
Oh yeah, I see that now. If I tilt my head a bit, they look more like sort of jaws.
Yeah, or like Kabutops claws.
So have you thought about names for this at all?
I decided not to decide on a name. I decided not to decide. But the idea that I had was Burgawar. Burgawar. So like Manowar, but with Berg instead of man, because it's an iceberg.
Burgawar. I see. I like it. It sounds a little bit too close to burger.
A burger war.
Yeah, the Burger Wars. Ronald versus the King. They're the Burger Wars.
Okay, so now I'm thinking of how exactly do the long tentacles attach to the rest of the body. And I mean, it could just be behind and we don't see it. But because ice is
just hide it behind.
Yeah, but because ice is partially transparent and we are actually using that in the design because all of the like faces except for the long tentacles are all encased in ice.
Yeah.
So I don't think we can just say, oh, it just like it's hidden here, so like we don't actually know. It doesn't matter.
It's going to come up.
Yeah, exactly.
The easy solution would be to have them sort of go through the ice and connect to the main head. But if we're having them being separate entities,
maybe we give it actually some ice around it here. If it starts in its own stalagmite and it just extends, then we could have it just like it finishes there and then it pushes outwards.
Yeah, I think that's the best way of going about it, because it doesn't make sense as a creature otherwise. If we have the ice is the thing holding all of the bits together,
yeah, exactly,
then that I feel really sort of that is the perfect marrying of the two types, because it's a bunch of poison things using ice to hold it together.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the fact that it uses the ice to perambulate. Is that a word? Is that the word I'm looking for? I think that's a word.
That is a word, and I think it is the word you're looking for.
But like, yeah. So I like the fact that it uses the ice to get around.
Yeah.
But sort of this sort of enhances it, brings it to the next level. So going back to the name, if you like the O War, but you don't want to just like slap like the word ice, a full word onto it. Because my first instinct was maybe Frost War.
If it's ISO War, those are 3 separate syllables, so ice is on its own. Like the syllable break is right there. With Frost War, you actually get Frost to War, so that actually integrates a little better.
So is that the working title for now?
Sure, it can be Frost War.
Frost War. I like it. Well, of course I like it. I said it. I don't say things I don't like.
Are you like generally happy with this?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the general shape of it. I think it looks good. It looks terrifying.
But it's cute. Look at its innocent little face.
The innocent little face just makes it more terrifying. You could be doing anything and I would just nod along. I don't know how art works. I don't know how art gets made.
Well, this is how I make art. I do lines, and then like I do a very rough sketch at first, and then I do a more refined sketch on top of it, and then I do sort of fake colors. This is going to be probably a more difficult, more complex process when we're doing yours.
Yeah. Because I've got to explain to you what I want, but I can't draw, so we're lost if you can't get what I'm saying. I give you this Pokemon and go, it's like that, but don't just draw that again, because that already exists.
I don't think that's something you have to worry about. I'm fairly familiar with the Pokemon that exist.
Oh, good. I'm glad. You'd be in a sticky situation if you weren't familiar with all the Pokemon, seeing as, I'm not sure if you're aware, you make Pokemon videos.
What?
This is a Pokemon video.
So how does it feel having a region based on your area? Places you're familiar with?
It's kind of weird, like, because I'm looking at the map and going, like, obviously the very top of the map is London because it's kind of like an upside down UK, which is a great way of doing it because they've kept the climate as if like the top is cold. So London, which is now which is usually at the bottom, is now at the top, which is now at the cold bit, which is very neat. Seeing them take things that have been sort of everyday life for me and make it big part of the game is weird and cool. So like the football stadium style gym or whatever these buildings are, big fan of that. I also want to say, for the record, the trains thing, I predicted that in my Gen 8 UK video, and that deserves all of the credit because nobody else was talking about trains. I said it in my video, and now, boom, it's real. New starters, in general, are you a fan of them?
Yes, absolutely. I like them all equally. I have no idea which one I would choose.
I've been saying Grookey, but I do like the other two as well. I think if I had to choose a least favorite, it would be Sobble, just because it's shown the least personality so far. It's had personality projected onto it by the internet that think it's a mess. But no, I really like the designs of the three of them. I can't wait to see the evil team. That's what I'm interested in. I know the evil team isn't usually sort of representative of the sort of the nation that they're in, because there's nothing overly American about like Team Plasma, especially not in the first incarnation where they're knights, which is odd. I've always found that a bit odd. But there is a lot to work with a British evil team. Villains are so often depicted as British.
You are all very evil.
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but... So what are they going to do when everyone in the region is British? What is that evil team going to sound like?
Maybe they will sound French. I don't know. What do the evil people in like British shows sound like besides also British?
Well, now that you've pointed it out, quite a few of them are French. He's got to draw his little hat now.
Yeah, the animal itself is complete.
Beautiful.
I like the iceberg part a lot. I like the main head a lot, and I like the little subheads. I was trying to think of stalagmites or stalactite, and I just could not remember which is which.
Well, both are wrong because they're rocks. I know I said stalagmites at the very
icicles,
start, but they're you said icicles since then, and then I realised no, that's the right word. But yeah, the icicles look great. The iceberg looks great. Nice to see that someone else just blindly clicks around until they find a colour that they like. I thought other people might have like a method to it, but no.
Yeah, so these parts will obviously be partially obscured, so you can just see them. But I'm not sure about the parts that are actually inside. Like, if those tentacles are inside the ice and have that color, why doesn't everything else that is inside the ice also have that color?
Because... Shut up. It just looks better the other colour.
Yeah.
So that's your reason, because it doesn't look as good.
So is it time to shades these guys? Or this single
I believe so, yes.
guy?
No, it's these guys. We've established it's multiple entities. The Froster War is kind of like a hive mind.
I'm quite happy with how it's looking.
I'm very pleased with how it looks. I mean, I didn't have much input on how it looks, but I'm very happy nonetheless. Beautiful.
Is this it?
I think this is it. I think we've made a boy.
We've made a Frostawar.
A Froster War.
And I have not saved this entire time, so I did now.
You are on thin ice, not saving in 2.5 hours. Pun definitely intended.
Alright, so this is our Portuguese Manowar Pokemon that is poison and ice type, and could maybe be seen in the shores of Galar.
If it is, I'm going nowhere near the shores of Galar.
Well, we should definitely tell people to go over to your channel to watch the second Pokemon that we're going to come up with. I don't know what it is yet.
Yes, I am so excited to see the second half of this epic 2-part. I've been mulling over this Pokemon, and I'm so excited to see Libris trying to draw it. It's going to be amazing. Come and watch.
But while you're still here, before you head over there, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. Tell us what you think of Frostawar. If you want to see us do more of these collaborations, you can let us know that too. And if you're new here, whether you just came over from Brett's channel or if you just found us randomly, which would be amazing.
That would be pretty great.
Yeah. Then don't forget to hit subscribe here and go over to Brett's channel. Link will be in the description and in the end card. And subscribe over there as well. And
I am not Umbreon Libris, but I'll see you in the next chapter.